King's Court TCG Regional for PPG is coming on, and we got the breakdown for those results. Smash all the crap out, subscribe, and so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So you guys know that this format is actually kind of developed into a very, very awesome open-ended world where you see all sorts of cool things happening, right? Like diversity is this format's name. This tournament was no stranger to diversity, all right? Except for the one little meanie here that you see called Drytron. Alright, now, Drytron makes powerful boards. It's usually between Drytron Praying Kids and the Tri-Brigade decks that you kind of see all this push and shove here. But I think at the end of the day here, you will always see one of those decks kind of outdoing the rest of them. So it doesn't surprise me. Now the one-ups here, the boring stuff. Just kidding, there's some excitement here. So we have one Prank Kids, which I think is fine. Alright, we see that this deck constantly has been showing up lately. I feel like the format has just let this deck be a top contender. If you know what you're doing with the deck. We also have one Zoo Brigade here. So Tri-Brigade has evolved into this new variant. Anybody surprised by that? No? No? Me either? Normal summon make Zeus? Yeah, it's pretty good. Then we have one Eldritch list. Anybody surprised? I know that Eldritch is like bare minimum tier 2. Alright, like the deck sits down here, stirring the little pot or the little cauldron here, and it always maintains the same story for so long. Like, what are we supposed to do with this? Back row decks kind of have issues, but Eldritch is still like the gatekeeper for back row. So, with a nice little Dragoon package here, but we'll talk about the list here in a second. We have one amazing Traptrix. So, we finally, I don't really get a chance to see Traptrix function all that much, and to be honest with you, when we do get the chance to see it do good, I'm always super excited. So we'll talk about States list here in a second. We also had one Grand Manju. Grand Manju disappeared off the face of the planet. It's kind of like the Avatar when we needed it most. And to kind of see that this deck came back into the format with a vengeance, at least for this tournament, that's actually really cool. I'm actually no stranger to seeing Grand Manju from these 60-man tournaments, because I always feel like it's kind of there sitting at the rogue table doing something, and that's actually kind of exciting. We also had one Invoked Dolls for this event as well. So everything you're pretty much used to seeing, a little bit of rogue added into the equation here to kind of make little waves, but outside of that, this is pretty much what we've expected for this format. Now we're going to pass on over here for some deck lists. Alright, the first list we actually have up here is Michael State's first top 8 Traptrix list. You thought he won the tournament. I know, I wish. So standard, we have triple shifter in the deck, which I think is fine. I have seen other builds try to go away from it, but I feel like it makes the best sense here. 2 Gravedigger Souls, fine. Only triple pot of the Mill 6 here, actually. I think it's very interesting. We also have the one Zeus down here in the extra deck, which is fine. I know a lot of people are like, well, you know, Traptrix don't really need Zeus. Yes, you do. Having a backup plan to when things go south makes your life so much easier, alright? Triple Parallel Exceed also has been a backbone for this deck. They need to be able to gas, like, to the floor to make some of their key plays. I mean, it does help make Rafflesia Sarah, which is a very good thing for this deck. So outside of that, we also have access to Black Luster Soldier because of Mr. Administrator here. Standard? Yeah, pretty standard, honestly. Next up here, top 8, we have Zoo Brigade. Honestly, triple cap, the one Throwblade and the one Wrap here. We are not even playing. I think that this is the most insane part. We're not playing Barrage. We just don't even care. That is the most intriguing part to me about this whole deck. Why would you not play Barrage? We are just committing 2 monsters to the Zeus package. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. We don't care about anything else. If it comes up, it comes up. I feel like maybe the Barrage might have made a difference. We're also in triple Karis for this build, which is also kind of interesting. Only 2 Tenki, by the way. We also made the subconscious decision to play 2 Revolt over 3, which is fine. We also had the good C card down here. We cited our Barrage, actually, for this. Very, very strange concept choices, I think, from a few players out there, but there's nothing wrong with that. Still ending on the same boards, so making those same grind moves, you're not going to have any problem out there. Alright? We have the Dragoon list here. So what are we doing here? 2 Golden Lords. I've definitely kind of seen that even in the better variants, the Golden Lord just is kind of bad. Yeah, he is your central part, but like those trap cards are going to be your grind here. We are playing the Red Eyes package, which means we have to play the really bad Wyvern in order to do combos. We have the Magicalized Fusion, actually, so we can make the second Dragoon. Oh my gosh, imagine a world where you can Red Eyes Fusion your opponent, slam Magicalized Fusion on the table, and proceed to laugh at your opponent as they literally cannot play the 2 Dragoons, by the way. Like, you out the first one, you gotta deal with the second one. All right, they'll never see it coming. Think about that. Like, that's how ingenious that actually is. I don't see anything else too spicy about this list, but I really do like the fact that if you see Magicalized Fusion, you can just cheese out that second Dragoon and give your opponent such a bad time. Alright, next up here we have Prank Kids. This list is playing the Ghost Sister that gains life points every time your opponent special summons. Think about this. In time, you just generate all this life points and laugh at your opponent. Now, to be fair, we're not in such a heavy combo format right now. You know, something like Dragon Link or something will give you way more return than the rest of the decks in the format. But for attack choice, that's actually kind of hilarious. I mean, what's your opponent going to do? Give you 30,000 life points or something? I mean, go for it, man. Outside of that, truthfully, the rest of the deck looks pretty standard. The Upstart Goblin feels a little bit interesting in this list, but I do not see anything that's too crazy. We've seen Ultra Polys in the past recently, but I still get why we play it. Getting the Reborn off of the materials is the value there, but 6 interesting choices nonetheless for this list. That's definitely interesting. Here we go. We have Grand Manju. So basically, we go second and we proceed to laugh at our opponent. Alright, and the best possible way to do that, Eater Millions, Dimension Shifter if we're going second. We have Danger Monsters to laugh at our opponent. We have 6 Kaijus to answer effectively any situation we have. The Cyber Dragon Naxter is interesting, though. Getting tutor ability, I guess, is something that we want. I almost feel like it'd be cute to like play the Chimera to rip out, which we're not doing. But alright, Super Polys everywhere, sure. Elysium down here in the extract, which is interesting. Numeron shenanigans built into the deck, that's fine. We're TC booing our opponent as well. Yeah, I really don't see anything too crazy about this. This all looks pretty standard and streamlined. Alright, next up here. Top 4. Okay. So, besides the Grand Manju list, making top 4 as well. For dolls here, this deck, kind of interesting on the 2 Super Polys. Only 1 El Shaddai fusion, which I guess is kind of acceptable at the end of the day. Just kind of feel like you'd want to have the triple Super Poly, but I guess I can understand certain situations where you might not want that to be the most optimal card. It is troublesome trying to break certain boards when you're not in the right element, then Super Poly becomes a dead card. Especially when you have decks like Tri-Brigade running around in the format, and if they don't end on something that you can, Super Poly into, you're just like, what am I supposed to do here? So, cutting that down is kind of interesting. Once again, outside of that, ratios look pretty streamlined, all things considered. Alright, next up here, second place, Drytron. Alright, so we have 2 Matanis in this bad boy, which will help us ritual summon. Kind of notice a lot of builds trying to go towards 2 of that now, which is fine. 2 droplets in the main deck is also kind of fine. Outside of that, access code is fine. Double Mu Beta, I feel like is a standard. We've got our Feather Duster sided, which is fine. And Intis as well. Yeah, nothing too crazy about this list as well. Then the first place list here, guess what? It's also Drytron. I love how both of the Drytron list took it all the way home for this event. We also have the 1 Matanis for this build. We are maining triple talents on this bad boy as well, which I guess in certain situations, being able to rip those resources away from your opponent to capitalize and make those larger boards is what you're really going to care about here, to say the least. So overall, I think the results from this event tell me good things about the format. If this many rogue decks are succeeding, then that means that we are in a very good place in the metagame. And we will have to wait and see how the rest of the meta develops here going forward. I'm already seeing innovations between Praying Kids and Dragon Link evolving, even if it's slow at this point in time. But we're in a very good place. For the first time in years, I'm really happy with how diverse the metagame is. So guys, what do you think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you think. Smash the subscribe button, subscribe so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day with some more cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.